Hello everybody, welcome back to Enter the Underground. Today we are doing a video that I've been waiting for, the Enter the Underground Album of the Year. Before getting into the list, I just want to highlight the nuanced criteria that would qualify an album for the Enter the Underground Album of the Year. So number one, it has to be hip hop or rap as listed in one of the genres. Number two, the artist has to be relatively underground, no one over 3 million monthly listeners. I could do some exceptions for someone like Westside Gunn who might be over 3 million but still has that same sound and is more of a niche artist. And then number three, the album must be considered an actual album and not an EP, which means that it has to have more than 6 songs and a runtime of over half an hour. With that being said, let's get into our top 10 albums of 2024. Doing It For Me by Larry June was an album that came out this year, and what I noticed that The Alchemist carried his production a good amount on his last project, The Great Escape. And while Larry does a good job with his vocal performances on this track, and he does embrace more of like the West Coast area vibe and Bay Area vibe, I just don't really feel that it's anywhere close to his previous work or anywhere that would make it higher on this list. And that's the reason that he slides in at number 10. Pinball by Mike and Tony Seltzer. I'm not going to go in too deep on this one because I already made a video about it. You can check the link up here to watch that review. But I just wanted to say that Tony Seltzer does a good job on the production side. He makes the project a lot more fun that I think a lot of other producers wouldn't be able to do. But for Mike, he doesn't have a really standout lyrical performance or vocal performance on any of these. You know, while I appreciate him trying something new, it's only deserving of our 9th slot here. So You Are Your Art by Degree and Brandable. It was actually a really consistent rap album. I really like the vocal performances and production. I'd say other albums in this top 10 might have higher highs, but they also do have higher lows. This is one of the most consistent albums of this year, which is probably why I'd give it this number 8 slot. So JPEG Mafia's I Lay Down My Life For You. It's able to take the best parts of different genres like rock or maybe even EDM and then morph it into a great rap album. So the album was seen as controversial at first, especially with the song Either On or Off Drugs, and that's because of its use of artificial intelligence. But to me, it's one of the most beautiful songs on the album, and it's one of my favorites for the year. While it's not JPEG's best album in my opinion, I might put Scaring the Hoes above this. I Lay Down My Life For You is definitely deserving of our 7th best album of the year. Scrapyard by Kudeka is one of the most surprising albums to me. I haven't heard of his name in years, actually, probably since 2018 or 2019 when he released a diss track for KSI, and it really blew me away. I felt that it was really emotional, really well produced. And I feel like it is very deserving of the 6th slot best album of the year. Across the Tracks by Conductor Williams and Boldy James. As you might know, I have a soft spot for producer-rapper collaboration albums, and Across the Tracks was definitely no different. Conductor Williams has been sneaking into my favorite rap producers over year after year, and I'm always impressed with his work. Boldy James, on the other hand, is just unbelievably consistent. One of the most consistent in the game today, I'd say. And he can release more than 2 full-length albums in 1 year and he'd still be great on each of them. I don't know how many albums he released last year. I think it was like 3 or 4, but they were just amazing. I would have put it higher if it wasn't for the other 5 being like some of my favorite albums in the past couple of years. When Angels Cry by Jeff is a really good album. I've been following Jeff since his album in 2022, The Color Gray, and this is a massive improvement from that, which was already a good album in my opinion. He can take inspiration from other industry leads like Kendrick or Joey Badass, but he can turn it into something of his own. He has a unique sound, and especially for this album, it's a must listen and definitely deserving of our 4th best album of the year. Running Man by Jackson Moon is our 3rd best album of the year, and I don't want to go in too deep again because I already made a review about it. You can check the link. It is my first video on the channel, so you can say I'm biased or whatever you want. But it's a really special album. When I first listened to it, I thought it was like the best album that I've heard in a couple of years. While it has fallen out of my rotation a little bit, I still come back to it every couple months, and it's like opening up a gift again. And it's definitely worth your listen, and definitely deserving of my number 3 on album of the year. Shadowbox by Mavi. I've been really high on Mavi past couple of years. In my opinion, he's just a poet, and he has great production on his songs. I really wasn't expecting this album. It's a tad darker and more emotional, I'd say, but there is some of those songs that you expect from him, like relating to his last work. One of the songs, called "The Giver," is probably my favorite song of the year, and I would not I'd expect it to be my number 1 played song when Spotify Wrapped comes around next year. I did find it quite later on in the year. I found it in December. I tried listening to it earlier when it came out, and the first song didn't really give me anything to go off. And it is more of an interlude, that first song, I find. But the rest of the album is just consistently great. I would put it as my number 1 if the other one wasn't probably one of the best albums in the past couple of years. And number 1 on the top 10 list, our 2024 Enter the Underground Album of the Year, is Penalty of Leadership by Nicholas Craven and Boldy James. Truly a generational album. I actually think it's top 3 or top 2 of the 2020s. It's up there with Alfredo for me by Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist. I really think this is a really good album. Nicholas Craven has some of the best sample work that I've seen in a really long time, and Boldy James is just consistently great. Somehow, truly a great album. I could probably talk about this for 10-20 minutes in a video of itself, but that is our album of the year, and I'm really excited to see what these two do in the future. They could run it back next year and do the same thing, and they have worked together in the past, so I would not be surprised if they do another one next year. But that is it for the album of the year. I'm going to go into more of my personal Spotify Wrapped if you guys are interested. And thank you. It's like joking around with my buddies before, like I preach about like doing everything underground, and then my top 3 are just the big 3 who've been terrible. 24,000 doesn't seem like a lot. Like, it used to be a lot higher when I was in like high school, but a little bit of a down year. Oh yeah. If you haven't heard this song, oh my god, dude. I wish El Camino started making better music, but it's listenable, but it's fine now. Like 7 out of 10, if that, albums like consistently. He's only been doing like EPs since that came out in like 2023, I think. Yeah, I listened to Vulture's one. I was so high on it when it came out. Like, I love that album. It's kind of waved ever since, but it was really good when it came out. I felt like I listened to it all the time, like in the gym and stuff. 994 artists, sounds about right. Tried to play a lot of different underground people. Kanye number 1. I do go back to Graduation a lot, actually. Life of Pablo. And this was the first time I actually listened to Donda Deluxe as well. Damn. Because if they didn't include the collaboration artist's name and then moved El Camino up, Redville would have been my number 5. I saw that he was just didn't crack it, because this isn't really an artist. It's just Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign, but I would have had Redville. I need Redville to drop an album pretty soon, but not too mad about this. Kanye, Boldy, as you saw, top 2 albums, or 2 albums in my top 10. Alchemist is The Alchemist, consistently great. El Camino just released a lot of stuff this year. He released a lot of stuff I didn't even bother to review because it just wasn't that good. unfortunately. Yeah. I don't know. Okay year for, I don't know, I kind of want to get my minutes up. I feel like I didn't really listen. I could have listened to a lot more music, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see about next year. March 12th, 2024. That was the first time I uploaded a video on this channel. That was the review of Running Man by Jackson Moon. And since then, Enter the Underground has grown to 16 subscribers. It has amassed over 230 views, and I'm really proud of those numbers. I know I haven't been the most consistent. I've only uploaded, I think, 4 videos in that span. I'm very obsessed with like more statistical side of YouTube. I often check my YouTube Studio and how well these videos perform, because it's very important to me. And I really want to get to a point where we can have that discourse. We can have like those debates in the comments about an album, or even share albums with each other. And that's why I want to set a goal for next year of hitting 50 subscribers. I do think it's quite possible, because most of you guys aren't subscribed yet, and hopefully I can win you over, make that change. But yeah, that is going to be it for me. Hopefully you look forward to as much as I do about the year going forward. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.